industrial materials, so, such as cereals, coals, minerals, etc. Although they can also be used to transport people in closing routes. For example, in large hospitals and sanitary cities.
Example of materials that can be moved is bulk materials, agricultural materials, industrial materials, with food and minerals.
The other examples, it's used for loading and unloading cruise ships of trucks. Selection called elevator belts are used to transport material on slopes.
Sometimes are are there are wide varieties of conveyor belts with different in their model or operation, means and direction of transport, including a screen conveyor and moving floor system, and with oscillating place to move the load and roller conveyor. We use a series of mobile drawers and to transport boxer on pallets.
And we are taught the conclusion. The handling of materials is important for safety and good management of a company. Each element has a different use within the company. You have to know the basic to know what some disadvantage and advantage of the equipment may be that can be used, and the benefits that will help use put it to the good use. Conveyor belts are very useful, but somehow they represent a somehow cost when it comes to the electricity, and dairy components are very expensive.
Size handling of materials is the entire process of mobilization of storage of materials. It's considered an important part that is used for implementation within an organization, which allows evolution and means under unnecessary transfer, letting the cost, reducing and the time in the manufacturing process. Therefore, it's considered necessary to apply a good use to that allows the operator in a simple way the mobilization operates, with the aim of leaving only most moments that are necessary. A very useful example is the conveyor belts. Additionally, there must be a series of safety products that must be taken into account and amply to prevent accidents.
In conclusion, it's very important to have tool for handling material as they help use to reduce transfer times or the moment and for the operation have to make since this machine help use to make everything easier and there are few errors in the road on the production of materials.
The transfer of material is a point of constant improvement in a company. This because there are often changes in the process that make some transport unnecessary. Conveyor belts are the most widely used product for easy handling of products and materials. This is easy holding and in addition to considerably saving process times.
In conclusion, it's of great importance to have conveyor belts for handling materials as they streamline and optimize the production of plants. And that means that a better performance is obtained to obtain a great benefit for the plant.
And the importance of having conveyor belts for the handling of the material science when developing and debuting this into operation, we managed to optimize it times and generate great profit. It is important.
And the material handling includes restriction of moment, time, place, quantity, and space. First, material handling must ensure that parts, raw materials, work in process, finished products, and materials are periodically moved from one location to another, and conveyor belts are mainly used to transport granular and agricultural and industrial materials such as cereals, walls, minerals, etc.
Thank you for your attention.
Okay, I need when the team speak, uh, really speak, not read, because you need practice the language, the English language, because if you don't speak, it's very complicated that you develop the ability, the skill. Um, I I think that it's important you you speak because it's the only way of you uh, can be the skill, the language skill. Okay, Tim. And I need other examples. For example, when you use uh, these handling materials in, for example, in your house, in the street, in other job, not only in the factories. Okay.
Okay, Toño, thank you.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
team.
thank you.
The next team, please.
Okay. Hi, good morning. We are the team number 2, and we are going to expose the topic cranes, elevators, and mobile cranes. Okay, my team is Andres Marquez, Joshua Iran, Jesus Carranza, and Maria de Lourdes Hernandez. Okay, so we are going to expose this topic, and okay. First, the cranes are tools that help us to move uh, materials and different things with a lot of heavy. Okay, and the cranes is divided in bridge cranes, hanging cranes, and stacker cranes. The first thing or the first topic is bridge cranes, and it has a horizontal structure called bridge, and that bridge moves side to side with wheels, and it can be motorized, moving by hand or combined. Uh, that bridge is controlled manually with a remote control or with a button box.
Henning cranes. Trussel crane. It is similar to the bridge crane. The difference is that this crane runs on rails completely. It is more used docks railways. Henning cranes. Fishing crane. It moves with one arm. The short takes the material. It is used in similar small areas.
This is another honey crane, monorail crane. It moves in a single road, front and back, only carries a small thing, not too heavy. Fixed track cranes. There are cranes that load heavy materials and move horizontally. It is more used on construction, uh, mm, big builds, and fixed wall crane and boom crane. There are crane on the wall with a shaft that moves the material. This crane, it can lift heavy things. It's like 1 ton, 2 ton, and no more 3 tons. Mobile crane, rail cranes, sorry. It is a crane that moves on rails. It rotates around vertical axis. It is used on trains. It for use to move heavy things to the wall to the train. And mobile cranes that travel to different parts in a motor vehicle. The vehicle can turn to where it suits you best. This is the most common you can see in all parts.
The winch it's where a cable that exerts horizontal or vertical force is wound. And the ringing, it can move vertically and horizontally with more than a single charge. And these two things works together to pick up something. And the winches are the cable that take the object, and the ring is like an arm, and that arm move the object to some place that you want. And the elevators serve to raise people, leads, or materials. They rise vertically and some are mobile. And that elevators we can see in Kentia, for example, and they use to lift up the material and save the product in the warehouse.
So I'm going to talk about advantage and the disadvantage of the cranes. So it are divided in three different kinds. So the first ones are the cranes. They cannot move it. This is the more important disadvantage of that. No auxiliary car for a cable implement. Materials can be transported easily, and they can charge a lot of material because they have they are too strongest, but it can move it. The mobile cranes are simple to move. It moves around the axis. It transforms fast and are efficient and safe. And you can move all the materials big distance are one of the most important in the industry. And the three type are the elevators. The elevators are used for the most important reason to be used is for more personal. You can apply materials to run. It can lift people to high places and are simple to use. And the disadvantages of the tree have a lot of disadvantages. The cranes, you can move it. It can move a lot of a lot of weight, but you can move it a lot of distance. They require a strong internal instrument, and you need a specialist personnel. They serve a limited area, and some cranes move only in straight line. It cannot be turned. The mobile cranes, they cannot carry big weights like a fixed ones, but because the mobility have a big cost. It occupies corridors, many bobbets, and elevators. Have a high risk, greater management, and they need a lot of energy. That are the most important disadvantages of that.
Okay, then we are going to say our conclusions in order.
The use of cranes has really facilitated people work because they help to carry out heavy work without any complications, in addition to helping to optimize space.
Proper handling of materials is very important at all levels of the company. Lifting cranes is very important that they provide a benefit in handling loads at higher heights. Mobile cranes are very useful as they are not limited to a fixed road.
The handling of cranes, lifting cranes, mobile cranes, and elevator are essentials for the handling of materials, since it is of the utmost importance to be carried out with care. Avoid carrying heavy things and optimize time. That is why it is important to know the elements that help us to do this.
The different equipment that we can use to handle materials or equipment is essential in a company since they are objects with too great a weight. Therefore, one of the best options is to buy or rent a crane, depending on the process or what it is. What you need to load and where you can decide whether to place a mobile crane or a lifting crane. For me, the best option is the mobile one, since you can take advantage of it more, and if you no longer use it, you can rent it. Unlike the lifting crane that is in a certain place, and if you don't use it, will only be a cost.
We learn about the decaying materials of which are very important of making a new installation. So it is so important to recognize how the process of liberation take handy with the selection generates new installation plans and manufacturer also save cost and materials. It's very important if you know that.
That's it for our team. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, team. But the comment is the same that the last team. You need don't read, only speak. For example, in the conclusions, you can explain the idea, but not only read. Read, everybody can be. Okay. The next thing, please.
Hi everyone, we are the team number 3, and this is the industrial lead and special vehicles. The team is confirmed by Emiliano, Alejandro, Ramon, Emiliano, Magdalena, and Umberto. In this part, we're going to talk about the different types of vehicles that we use in the industry. First of all, what is the industrial vehicles? Well, it's the vehicles that we use to move the material of the raw material or finishing production in all the plants, in the warehouse or between the lines. Everything you need to move the material around all the industry. And we have different types of that. Example of this is the hand wheelbarrow. In this part, we can use it for move the raw material or material that can be bulk or the bulk material. In this part, this can be say that the sand or the herd between I don't know, the Cementos Cruz Azul. This is an example of the most important vehicles that we use for these jobs. In the second part is the platform with 2 wheels and 1 clown. This is the most common, I think, because it's the Diablito. This part is very useful because it's cheaper and it's very simple to use. And the 4-wheel manual wheelbarrow. In this part, we have different types of this because we need to talk about the resistance and the weight capacities. In the first image, the blue can store 3,000 kilograms, and the second one is just for move boxes around the lines or the warehouse. The first is just for I don't know 2,000 kilograms, and the second one is depend of the stronger that the operator is.
Okay, please stop the presentation. For everybody, this is the idea. No, you put the last slide. This is the idea that I like about the expositions because the other teams don't don't uh, don't uh, don't view or don't show this structure in the presentation. I need that you know that you learn the image of the material handling and the name and what is the use in the industry and the other industries like this team. Congratulations. Continue, please.
Thank you.
Tractors, by themselves, do not carry a lot of. They are the elements that allow to drags of serious platforms, and they are to transport machinery or very heavy products in medium distance. Tractor trailer or tractor coupler. It is especially used to trains to by a tractor used for extremely heavy materials and that need to be towed by a tractor similar. Electric platform trucks, a more modern element, but you don't carry for a long distance.
One moment. Uh, they are
You need to
they
show
are
your camera.
used
You
for
need to show your
simple.
camera when you speak, man.
What?
You need to show your camera when you speak, man.
Está prendida.
Okay, continue.
They are units for simple movements, raising or lowering items, boxes, etc. And an example is the garnet. Uh, an advantage um, is that um, well, it's simple for operators, and that is all.
Forklift truck. The forklift is one of the most common tools used in warehouses to lift loads to different levels within the racks. They are mainly used to move, push, stack, raise, or lower various objects and items vertically. The transporter load is kept balanced and stable by a center of gravity that is in all directions. Some advantages are that they help to save time since the movement of the material is much faster, prevents injuries to your employed because they don't have to make the movement to move the load to another place. Some disadvantages are that they need maintenance and the space that the forklift occupies.
Um, they are those who fulfill very specific tasks and were created primarily to meet that need. Side load car lifter. It is a forklift with four wheels and a mass that moves laterally. This allowing more comfort and faster to execute. For example, one advantage it is does it automatically. One disadvantage it is may fail or about the process have something wrong.
So in the case of the straddle forklift, waste of material from the ground thanks to the fact that these forks are inserted from the bottom, but there is a lot of uses. For example, when I was working in Sensata Technologies, they have to use the norm that was ISO 45000. That means that you have a specific cars for a specific situation, and we have that. So the interesting thing, and I was with some friends talking about that, and one friend take that car, and his friend quit of the company because for this kind of cars you need to have certification if you need to drive. If you don't have a certificate, if you don't have a certification, you can use. So the most common use. Okay, thank you very much. Well, let's talk about the conclusions. So Maria Magdalena.
It's so useful to these tools. Scientists make the material transport process faster, and it's the reason that the process is more optimized.
Now the uses that we have of that vehicles is very useful for us as an engineers because we have the knowledge of the capacities and the advantage of disadvantage to use the correct tool to the right job.
So I think that is very important to take knowledge about all the vehicles that we need to use in a company, because if you don't know how to use, if you don't know that you need certifications, you're going to have a little bit of problems. So take care about that.
Well, it's important to know what vehicles can use inside a company, but it's most important to know when we can use, because some vehicles have a function that we need to know.
It is important to know the vehicles within the company that I usually use it for different jobs within it.
It is important to know the vehicles within the company. Science is why you have a clear notion of where to go and where everything is.
And that is all for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, team. The next team, please. The next team.
Ya voy, Toño.
Okay, you show your presentation. The time is running. Okay.
Hi, we are the next team.
we're going to present the topic is hoppers and containers. Our team is composed of Enrique Del Hoyo, Daisy, María Fernanda, Jorge, Ulises, Rico, and me, Fabricio Rubalcaba. What is a hopper? The hopper is a cylinder-shaped container which inverted cone shaped. You can observe it in this image. It's a cone invert, normally used in the industry for filters. You can put the materials, and when you need take out a material or heat other minerals or other materials, you can use this to separate its components. And the containers, you always see these containers in the industry, in the street. It's a common use in your house.
For example, what kind of materials can you handling with this container? For example, a hopper.
A hopper? Forest. Hoppers on container or containers.
But you can use this. Hey, show the presentation. For example, you can use these elements in a house, but obviously in short dimensions. For example, hoppers in the kitchen, no?
The hoppers is like a embudo. I don't know when you put when you need put or in the party, you can use the embudo. You put the drink in the in the hopper, and you drink a lot of soda. And the containers are and your trash boat. It's a container. In the industries, the containers you can save cars, objects, regularly used to transport objects to other industries. And this is what is the hoppers and containers.
Okay, continue quickly.
The different types of containers where materials are moved, that of weights can be the trash that come during the day, such as paper, plastic, and others. The one in the stock, which is where the excess materials, the one which liquids who chemicals. In the hoppers, the materials that move are cement, seeds, minerals, liquids, and chemicals.
Okay, I don't watch the presentation. I don't know if other people of the team can show the presentation. Continue. Okay, continue. Continue. What is the next?
Yes, the containers. Advantage of containers. The advantage of containers is a space.
Hey man, you need to show your camera. You don't show the camera.
Yes, sorry. The advantage of containers is space optimization. Metal containers are suitable for the transport and storage of a wide range of goods, and makes door-to-door transportation easier, and it also the elimination of intermediate manipulation. The containers are very useful in the anywhere, but in industry useful in, for example, for the Nissan, uh, we arrive the parts for the making cars in containers, in when the after put in other containers for arrive to the production line.
Fabricio, ¿puedes poner la diapositiva anterior, por favor?
You speak in English.
Okay, so as you can see, there are three disadvantages. The first one is it requires an initial financial investment. This means that you need a lot of money to build one of these, or a group of 10. The second one means that not all the products are made for these containers. And the last one means that you require a specific location to put it, to put these containers and make a good transport.
Hoppers, the advantage. The walls of the device have less wear due to the fact that friction during the stress is minimal. All the material moves at the same time, elimination of secretion problems, and possibility of different volumes and materials depending on the product.
Well, the two principal disadvantages of the hoops are everything inside doesn't move at once, and when it has been completely emptied, there's a material inside that has not moved.
Personally, the containers are more practical for put a lot of things. I don't know, like food or I don't know, pieces of metal or things like that. And I think so.
In conclusion, I think that material handling is very important for the industry because it can speed up work, reduce cost, and increase productivity.
The the hoppers and containers can be used in my ways, and each of them has an advantage and disadvantage, but are very important in the industry or in the anywhere. The the You can store important materials that you use and use them later or transportate them from one place or to another.
Your microphone is off.
Sorry, everyone. The containers and hoppers are a great help to the company because with are special and practical components for the company to store objects and greatly optimize the production of the processes with those components.
It helps use optimize production, inventories, and space within the plant.
And well, the final conclusion is that my conclusion is that it is important to learn more about these methods of engineering plant as they help us develop skills that we can use in the future as industrial engineers. These methods can help us increase the percentage of growth of a company size. It goals is to establish an area in which the operation of the company is more productive and effective. And that is all.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you, Tim. Without words, bad exposition. Sometimes you don't speak, don't show the presentation, etc. Continue the next team, please.
Hi everyone, we are the last team. I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Marco, and my team is composed. It's Andrea, Litsi, Erika, Mayra, and Daniela. We are going to talk about material handling equipment. It is the most widespread storage system. This storage system is made up of metal racks that are easily adaptable to different formats, weight and volume of the load units, and in addition, it gives us the possibility of combining qualities load with manual loading for picking in the same installation in the lower levels. So it allows us to have excellent stock control. When I was working in Fera Distribuidora Castillo, there was a lot of racks. One of them charged with heavy pieces, or there was racks who charge light pieces, and they distribute in some levels.
Okay, Marco, what was an example in your house about the use of racks?
It can be my, ¿cómo se dice? Closet.
How do you say closet?
Yeah, this is an example of racks in my
Remember Narnia picture in English. What does mean closet? What is the word in English?
I forget it, but this is an example of racks on my house, or where do you put the food, and you distribute all the stuffs in this area. You can put the oil, the mustard, the
pasta, and the other area you can put the plates, forks, knives, spoons. This this example of racks in my house.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
Okay, I'm going to present the different types of rack. The first one is rack driven, ideal solution for storing a homogeneous product with a large number of load units per reference. It's when you have a lot of material. It's like a first image. The second is dynamic rack, perfect for warehouses that require great control of stock rotation and where space saving is essential. It's like a second image. In the base, this rack has tubes that move and the material pass in the surface. Then rack on mobile base, system in which the racks are mounted on mobile bases on the ground. It's like a left image. In this example, we have, the rack has 4 wheels, then self-supporting industrial metal. Most of them are automatic systems that use robotic equipment for handling loads. And the last is raises ice picking rack, a storage solution at height from the picking rack that provides excellent use of height. It's like a right image. The meaning of picking or picking system is to deliver your product in the fastest and efficient way. Next, please. Thank you. Some advantages. It adapts to the volume or weight of load. You have easy stock control. You can know how much material that you have or are missing. Racks reduce transportation and production costs, improve the coordination between supply and demand, and they support the production process, eliminating inefficiencies.
Continue. Continue, team.
And the disadvantage is difficult to catch a single reference when preparing the output batches. Crushing of merchandise and instability can occur when lots are placed on top of each other. The FIFO method is used when we want to extract the merchandise. That is the first thing that comes in the first things that must go out. So problems are encountered if the cargo that enters first is unknown. Difficulties arise when preparing the merchandise in those shipments constituted by fractions of palletized lots. Next, please. Okay, next we have pallets. Pallet is a flat transport structure that supports goods in a stable manner to be lifted by a forklift, a skid, or other means. Is the structural foundation of a loading unit that enables handling and storage efficiencies. Okay, next we have these pictures that are example of how the pallets are used. They have friendly design, lightweight, and are used with hydraulic skid, loading capacity, and use of forklift. And the types of pallets are wooden pallets, plastic pallets, and cardboard pallets.
Okay, fuck. Okay. For example, the advantages for the pallets, it's the standardized measurements because thanks to this, we can know how many products are in each pallet. For example, if one pallet, the measurement of one, it's 1 meter per 50 centimeters per 10. And if this measure in this pallet, you can put, I don't know, 100 pieces, and if you can have 10, you can know that you have 1,000 pieces in that. So in the in the second, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit sick. In the second, it's low maintenance cost. That means that it's cheap because it doesn't take much money or time for maintenance. So in the third, long lifespan, they can be used for years without losing their functionality, and easy to recycle. This is it can be recycled from the same company or on in our house because it's cheaper and it's not easy. It's not difficult like the videos like ideas in 5 minutes. I don't know. It's like this, and it's hygienic because the wood, if you have a good maintenance, you can use it for years, and it's hygienic because it's organic, something like this. Next, please. The disadvantage of the wooden pallet. We separate this disadvantage because we have three materials for this palette, but the most important it's the wooden and it's the plastic. So the first the first disadvantage is weight gain in a airport. That is because the wood is it's heavier than the plastic. The second is very difficult to clean. If it gets wet, it increases the risk of fungi and bacteria. One example is in this moment we have a pandemic, but in the in the starts of the pandemic, the how can I say? The suministers were stopped because they didn't know if that materials, that products have the virus, so they don't know. If you don't have a good use to the to the palette, you can broke that, and I think it's cheaper to repair that, but you can the operators of the people, they can be failed or broken, or I don't know, they can be, I don't know, how can I say, lastimar. They can be hurt. So that's the of the wood, and disadvantage of plastic pallets, the cracks or breaks that can be repaired in a wooden pallet. But if the plastic pallet it's broken, it's more expensive to repair the pallet than the bought another pallet. Um, It's I think it's the most important disadvantage. That's all.
Okay, I am explaining what is the difference between racks and pallets. With the racks, can transport the soft drinks, beverage, finished products, engines, spare parts, stationery, and appliances. It's most common in the supermarkets like Sam's, Costco, and places like have heavy products. Yes, in big how do you say cantidades? Sorry. Okay. Pallets is more common use in the little supermarkets and yeah, supermarkets like Aurrera, like street, whatever. Can transport pet food, snacks, cement, fruit, beverage flour product, and wheat plaster.
Okay, other examples about these tools are in a supermarket when you put the material in a column and to order way. And for example, in a library when you order the books, in a pharmacy when you put the product, and the pallets are common use in a factory because you put the material, and these are rule because they don't touch the, how do you say suelo in English?
Floor.
Floor. And the general conclusion, these tools are very important not only in the factory, you use in the all areas because they put the products in order, and the pallets are common in the factory. Okay, as a conclusion, this storage and loading systems are great help because it can be adapted to the needs of each department or company depending on the material with which it's going to work. These storage tools are very used in various companies of all types of sector, since they guarantee user accommodation according to the standards and norms of each product. This with the easy that the product reach the customer in good condition.
I think the racks and pallets there is important because it could be in everywhere, in a factory, in a house, and in a hotel, in everywhere. So this is important to know about these pallets and racks.
Okay, in my conclusion, I know in application with these tools, and it's important because the work is easier and helps in the security and control of storage.
In conclusion, storage tools, they are very important and very useful since it adapts helpful to any company depending on the material in which you are going to work. The use and application of the tools is very important and very useful since they provide us with an organization.
Okay, and the final conclusion is, for example, the both of them they are so much important because no, not only in the industry, you can use it in the airports, restaurants, supermarkets, because one of them you can use it to store and move wherever, and the other one you can use it to only start. Or if you yeah, if you have one
Ira,
in
be careful because I don't know. Your symptoms are or coronavirus, no?
uh, shut up. I hope no, because one of the members of the Team Terraza get coronavirus the last week, so I think ya valió caca.
Okay, continue quickly.
Okay, complete. Okay, it's important to the companies, to the industry, and almost in the house because the use it's only for transport and store the products, whatever what product it would be. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Tim. But you sounds the team sounds that have sleep. I don't know. It's very early because this hour of the class is that schedule, but I don't know. Okay, thank you, Tim. The next.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Marco, can you show off your camera? Okay, continue.
¿Sí se ve? Hi everyone, my name is Luis and I will expose about the cranes. I will try to be quickly, but certainly. So the cranes have a history when Archimedes made the pulley. For me, the cranes are only.
Man, you need to start the presentation in PowerPoint. You don't.
Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. I think the presentation was there. Wait a second. No se ve, ¿verdad? Se ve.
Yes, the screen is show, but you select PowerPoint and start the presentation.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, the cranes are very simple. The function it is only for pick up the materials that is heavy. For example, this is a elevator crane. It's very simple. It's for the industry because the industry needs to 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 pick up the material for other place. So this material almost the times is very heavy. So for example, when made the where you construct the build a car, obviously the pieces are very heavy. So this is for the use of the the cranes. I will separate
stationary cranes and the mobile cranes, because it's the same principle. Well, you will see. Mm, the the stationary cranes have advantage. The main advantage of cranes is that they can um, function in a completely independent of the cellar floor. It 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 means that the operator have more space between other between other machines, and you don't need uh, a single carrier for um, for the material way. So another added advantage of cranes that you really have nothing to do with hay. This mean because the cranes are very are very powerful. So the hay is not that important because it's I don't know how do you say sobrado, but okay. And one of disadvantage, they don't have movement and reduce their field of action. So, and it's very expensive. For example, when you ensemble uh, for the Nissan, the Nissan cranes uh, are very um, expensive because, for example, the maintenance and for the build, the station work, the electricity that it consumes. Um, well, I think this is the disadvantage. This is an example that is stacked current. Um, it is for the when you are in the coast, or maybe you have the tanks of for the transport, for example, cars or other things, and you don't need a train. Maybe you can put this tank in a boat, or well, we'll have a lot of type of crime. For example, for me, more simple for explain is when you go to the gym and you have a lot of cranes, because the principle of the cranes are the pulley. For example, when you do back, you are using the stationary the stationary cranes, because you use more of your strength for pick up other thing that is more heavy. Um, well, the use is very different. This is when is the bridge crane. Um, the bridge crane is for only two for one
direction, and it is for when you have I can't explain. You have a line of construction, and you only need to put another side, and you have other line. So for example, this is a other type of crane, the Fisher crane. The Fisher crane, if you see, is very simple. Is only for transport to one thing for other place. And the mobile cranes, this is the structure of the mobile cranes. Almost the mobile cranes have this appearance because the stationary cranes add a wheel and is a mobile crane. So what is the advantage for...
Man, you need to speak more more quickly.
Okay, yeah, I almost finished. The advantage is the flexibility to increase productivity and consider the strain and lower cost than the other type of crane. And this disadvantage, the use of this type of crane is the need to have more space and insufficient maneuvering surface to able to carry out transfers. For my conclusions, the cranes are used to facilitate the movement of goods of the things that are heavy, and the best thing about the curry is the versatility that you can give them if they are in the correct position. And that's all.
Okay, what is your team?
My origin team 2.
Okay, thank you, everybody. This is the last activity of the Unit 3, the summative evaluation. I put in the classroom today, and you can read what was the document and instrument and form of kind that you put the summary evaluation about Unit 3, okay? For the Unit 4 is maintenance, and this very simple unit. You need make originally 3 activities, and for the time you only make 1, okay? And the information I put in the classroom course. Thank you, and please, the people that have the recording about this session, please send me. Okay? Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.